Didn't you see that guy that commented on the YouTube and was like, you guys look real uncomfortable. You move around.
It's just because we're sitting for so long.
I know. I can't sit in one position. I also don't want to, I'm not going to stand.
Yeah, no. Way to cover up the spot on you.
Oh, don't worry. I'll make it known.
Okay. And should we 5, 6, 7, 8 it?
Yeah.
Give us a 5, 6, 7, 8. Go 1.
Welcome back.
I'm excited. We haven't done a solo up since our holiday doozy.
Which was that wasn't even recorded in English, I fear.
No, that was a good one, though.
I laughed a lot.
It was really funny.
I laughed a lot.
It was like that chaos of the holidays that like we needed to giggle.
Yeah. We were saying just before we turned this recording on that we're so excited to be sitting on the couch. Like,
I know.
Just the two of us. I wish you guys could see like the configuration of this room.
We should do like a BTS. Which is behind the scenes if you don't know.
No, I don't know. I have no idea. We posted a poll on the Instagram yesterday that was like, oh, what are you guys like looking for us to hear or whatever? And she's like, we went to dinner and she was like, yeah, like, you know, we had all these people say this. And I was like, where are you seeing who said what? And she's like, if you go into the app. I'm like a 97-year-old woman.
Yeah, but you've got your skills in other ways, like all of this technology shit that you put together.
Yeah. I'm a highly intelligent human being, but this social media.
Yeah. We'll get into that today a little bit, but yeah.
But yeah, the configuration of this room, it sucks.
It's weird. I can't wait for one day, and we were talking about this yesterday, but like I can't wait for one day to just like, this brings in enough income where like we don't have to be stuck in this room. You know?
Yeah, and where I have nothing but time to figure out how else we can sit.
Yes.
Is what I'm looking for.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Like maybe we have like a little table with 2 cameras. Like I'm putting it out there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love it.
Well, happy Saturday. How we doing?
Good. I'm having like a mental exhaustion week.
Yeah.
You know? Like physically I'm fine, but like I'm like every day I feel like I wake up this week and I'm like, again?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But
you know what? There was a full moon this week, but also it feels like everybody's having this common thread of like long ass week. Like it's just felt long.
It is. Yeah. Like usually the days move. I swear to God, like all week long, every day I was like, it's got to be 2. And I would look at the clock and it was like 11. And I was like, what's.
I think
And it's not because I was like not doing things. Like I was doing things and it just time wasn't moving this week.
Yeah. I think honestly, it's like all week. It was like, is it Friday? Is it Friday? And then I got to Friday and it's like, wait, it's Friday? Like, it didn't even feel like it was like, oh, my God, it's Friday. It felt like we just were, like, working really hard to get through the week. I don't know. Something was in the air. I feel you.
If you're watching this, I don't know if anybody can see, but moments before, I spilled drink all over my shirt, so now I look like a slob.
It's okay.
But I like to bring attention to my flaws so that other people can't do it first.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
No, for sure. You got to, like, point them out so that other people
You have to
don't
own it like it's not a flaw. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Well, how about you? How you doing?
I'm good. You know, I caught the noro or whatever the heck that was going around. Mm-hmm. I thought it was food poisoning, but I texted the girls I went to dinner with and they were like, no, we feel fine. I was like, cool.
Great.
And I know how I got it. And Darius is like, don't tell the stories. Do you want to hear how I think I got it?
100%.
Okay. So I was walking Cooper and Jake, but Cooper like got salt in his paw and I cleaned off his paw. And then I like was walking and one of the boys had to poop and then I like licked my hand to open the bag. And it wasn't like I like fully licked the hand, but I think that like I don't know. I was just watching a reel and it said like the way that you get parasites is from your dogs.
Yeah, I'm sure there was some puppy cootie on that paw.
Yeah, so I think that's how I got it. But I'm like on the up. I feel honestly this like whole I've been doing dry-ish January.
Ish.
And I feel so much better without alcohol. Truly.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Like, I feel more clear, energized.
Which, like, you're not also, like, a big drinker anyways.
No, I mean, I love a cocktail. Like, let's be real.
100%.
Like, I love a cocktail. Yeah. But I feel like, and this is where I feel like in life, you go through phases of, like, you, like, college, you want to party. Then after you maybe party more. I don't know, whatever. You go through phases. And I feel like I'm in a phase of life where, like, I'm just more mindful about things.
Yeah.
And I want to be more mindful about things and truly choose like what's going to light me up.
Yeah. And it's just not the bevy for you at this moment.
Yeah. I feel like it's just it ruins your whole next 4 days.
It does. And like, I'm a dirty martini galley, and like, I want it so dirty that I want to cankle in the morning. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be visibly swollen the next day, but that's really not conducive to the next day.
No.
At all.
Like, it's no.
And you can have 2 of those things, and that is it. Like,
I mean,
when I cross the, I mean, I've had 7, but like, that wasn't a good choice that I made.
No, but then you wake up the next morning, you're swollen, your head hurts, you're nauseous. You don't want to be like, oh, I really would love to go make some like eggs and sausage. You're like, give me a bagel sandwich with some grease on it or whatever it is. And
I had one of my really good friends is the type of person that like wants to eat so clean when they're hungover, and I'm just like, what is wrong with you? Yeah. She's like, I love a salad. I'm like, I hate you.
There's something wrong with her. We should check in.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Feeling good.
Great. I love to hear it. Well, we did take a poll on the gram about what we were
You guys
talk
really
about.
didn't help. Let's be real.
Yeah, no, it was pretty evenly distributed amongst the topics. So,
but thanks.
We're going to kick her off with like 2025 yay, nay wellness trends, and then we'll dip into some other things.
Yeah, I feel like the big ones were like wellness trends 2025, and then like girl sesh, whatever. So we'll just kind of, I don't know, gab.
I love to gab.
Yeah, right?
I just, before we came down here, I'm so active on TikTok right now because I know it's going away and it doesn't matter. Like every day I've had something to say on TikTok and no one cares. But I just love to yap.
Yeah.
Like I just fucking love to yap.
But see, we have to get this girl on the Instagram, which also if you don't follow us, the girls are fine on Instagram. Give us a follow for sure because we're definitely up-leveling our game and I'm putting it out there because we are.
No, we are. We're going to be relatable Instagram queens.
Girlies.
Yeah, it's on the docket. We'll get there.
All right.
So yeah, let's get into some 2025 wellness trends.
Yeah, so let's talk about, all right.
This was a big one. Are we going in order? Also, Jordan always like perfectly curates a document for like our episode, and then I go in and I make edits that are like -ew. or like
they suck.
This sucks. Like if you could see this document the way I'm seeing it, you would know exactly which contributions came from me and which came from her. But anyways,
I like the organization of it. Okay, but let's just preface because this did come into our DMs. These are our opinions, and also we're not saying that if this is if you like a wellness trend and that's for you, fucking awesome. Keep doing it.
But that doesn't mean I don't hate it. So if
or
I
that it's not for us,
hate it,
like it's okay. Keep doing what
it.
works for you. We're just giving our opinions. Yeah. And opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one.
Yeah.
So just remember that.
Amen.
Amen
to the asshole.
Did you receive that?
I received
because now I'm
there.
loving saying it.
I know.
I'm probably using it wrong. Sorry, Layla, but like I'm loving it. Anyway. All right. Cold plunge, ice bath, cryo.
Yeah, this one took off in 2024, I feel.
The cold versus hot therapy.
Yes. And everywhere I feel like there's like contrast type places popping up where you do the combo sauna, cold plunge, etc.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. I mean, okay, I will say I have not done cryo, but I like the idea of cryo better than cold plunge.
Really? I'm so opposite. I like cold plunge versus
because
cryo.
I don't want to be all wet.
See, but there's something about you're in a hot sauna, you like are sweating your ass off, and then you're like, okay, I'm going to go immerse myself in cold water. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Anna, my future sister-in-law, because she was like, keep your hands out of the cold plunge. Keep your shoulders under, but like neck and head above, and that'll help. And I did, and I was able to stay in for like 3.5 minutes, which like to me is the longest time I've ever stayed in a cold plunge.
I think really like 3 minutes is like really all you need to.
Yeah, and I really like that dichotomy. I used to cryo like a while ago. I don't know. I never was like, I really want to cryo, but if I'm in a sauna, I'm like, I could totally cold plunge.
Okay, well, I've never cryoed myself, so like I can't really speak to it, but I feel like I like the idea of not being wet.
Yeah. It's essentially very similar, you know?
Yeah, same idea.
Your hands are in gloves, your feet are on something.
It gets colder for sure, but yeah, I'm for it. And like there's this whole, slew of evidence that says it like activates like the cold shock protein, which is something that comes from your liver, and like it can only be like functional in that state anyways.
You know what I don't like though? Cold showers.
Absolutely not. When I get in the shower, if it's not incinerating the top layer of my epidermis off, I don't want to be in it. I'm upset.
I just don't like to shower. Like I do it and I shower. Don't worry, I'm like not dirty. But I like don't love a shower. Like I like to get in, shower, and leave.
I mean, I'll stand in there
No.
if it's
I'm like, okay, I just showered. Like get me out.
all right. Well,
I know.
difference of opinion.
Right. But I
it's
would
gotta be
never go in there
scalding lava
and be
hot, or
like,
else I'm not
please
interested.
let me wake up with a cold shower. I'd rather shower, go do a workout. Well, I probably wouldn't shower before my workout. I'd rather do my workout, sauna, cold plunge, and then shower.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like an experience, and I don't want that experience in my shower.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're yay on the cold plunge.
We are yay on the cold plunge.
It does, to your point, have a lot of like benefits.
There's a lot of evidence backed by. I mean, you can Google it and it comes up like pretty easily.
Yeah.
But like it is pretty good, especially for people who are like on a weight loss journey or whatever. There is a good degree. I mean, it's not going to make you skinny. Let's preface. Okay. But it does support, your metabolism in a way that's helpful. So yeah, I'm for it. Yay.
Same.
All
I'm
the
for
way.
it. Yay. IV therapy.
Well, I mean, okay, I work at a clinic, but here's the thing about IV therapy. I think it's great. I think that you can take just about anything orally. I will tell you the absorption for those things is 30, 40%, 50% if you're taking like a really good supplement that tends to be expensive. A lot of the casings on supplements don't survive like digestion as it is. So like you just got to be careful and you got to know. But with IV stuff, it's 100% absorption every time. The caveat is it's expensive and
You gotta have a good nurse.
Yeah. And like people don't like, I'm not going to tell you that I've ever had somebody sit down in any facet of healthcare that I've worked in and been like, stick me up,
Yeah.
Like people,
I used to faint.
Yeah. She still does. Not faint.
I don't faint. Here's what I don't like. When you're putting the needle in me, it doesn't feel good. It's not like I'm like, this feels
I'm
amazing.
putting a needle in your
But then
arm.
also, don't tell me what you're doing. Don't say you're fishing to find the thing.
Well, I don't fish, so I'm not. But
you know what I mean. When people fish, I'm like, don't tell me because then my face goes white and then I want to faint.
And then you're
But I
passing
become
out.
a lot better, I think. Maybe not
I
with
didn't see you
but
in
that's
your prime.
because
Because
I'm
she's
just
like,
like,
they're hurting me.
yeah. But if it was anybody else that I didn't know, I'd be much stronger.
Yeah. Well,
But-
that's what people come and they're like, is this going to hurt? And I'm like, I don't know, Sally. I'm sticking a needle in your arm.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to be the most
not gonna
comfortable
feel
experience
great.
of your life. But again, it's not the most painful thing that's ever happened to you
Right.
either.
I think though with IV therapy, I actually notice differences.
Yeah. Well, okay. Also, so I will say I am a stan of like IV, IM, like supplemental vitamins other than taking them orally. Because I, for a while, was doing B12 injections, which was a recommendation from the psych NP that I was seeing at my therapist. Because I was like, is my anxiety causing my fatigue or is my fatigue causing my anxiety? Like, do I need SSRIs? Like, what's happening here?
Yeah.
And my B12 was just on the low end of normal, and I supplemented it like IM, like muscle injection, once a week for 6 weeks, and then I think it was once every other for 12 or something. Fatigue, like, okay, I'm not
That's
saying
how I
I don't
feel
get
with CoQ10.
tired. Yeah, like I'm not saying I don't get tired. Like, let's not get it twisted here. Like, I do 20,000 things and I'm up at the crack of dawn.
Yeah.
Like, I'm tired and like I do a lot of running
Well,
around,
we're human.
whatever.
Yeah.
But like the excess fatigue piece really was
Well,
gone.
that's what I feel like when you get your, like when you test your body for like what's going on and figure out like, okay, what do you need? Like there's a lot of bullshit out there. Like you need,
For sure.
you need this gummy and you need to take this green juice and you need to do this and what, and it's going to help you with everything. But I think if you know what you're doing, like I got a blood test and it was like your coenzyme Q10 is low. Mm-hmm. You need to supplement with CoQ10. And I was like, I'm not going to buy a thing. I'm just going to get it at
work. Yeah.
So then I was like, so once I got the injections, I felt same thing. Like I felt energized. I was like, wow, I actually feel a difference. And my mom got IVs with me, and she was noticing that her hair was actually becoming thicker.
Yeah.
Her skin was looking good. So I do think like getting it for what your goals are and what you want is better than just being like, I'm just going to go do whatever she's doing.
Well, it's unfortunate too that like if you went to like your regular PCP too and you were like, here's my complaints, whether it's, I mean, a lot of these deficiencies in vitamins can mimic like having low vitamin D can obviously mimic fatigue, but it can like manifest sugar cravings that like you think is one thing and it's not. So it's like a lot of times these products that people want to market are just like blanket statements that it's like it's good for everybody. But like, okay, so I guess that's my preface with it. If it's something that you want to do and it's not just a I'm hungover, I need help kind of thing, like I would suggest going somewhere where you can get a panel of lab work and then get things that you're actually like deficient in that you need versus just like spending money on something that's just to get things that you don't actually need.
Agreed.
So, and there is no like the way IVs work is like you get supplemented with vitamins and minerals. If you don't need those vitamins and minerals, you just pee out the excess. Like there's also a like misconception of like
overdosing.
Yeah, not overdosing, but like overdoing it, and that's just kind of not how it works either. So.
Yeah.
But
all right, that's a yay.
But again, I will say we are lucky because
we're spoiled. I always say I'm spoiled.
Yeah, we have the luxury of doing it often because we work there. But again, it's an investment. So if it's something that you're like, I'm sick of being exhausted and I did this once and it helps me, then maybe like you figure out how to like allocate funds. But
all right, wearable health tech. I'm a yay. And a nay. I don't know. I guess I'm both. And a nay. Okay, I love my Oura Ring. And I really love it. I lost it, and then I just got another one. And I love it for sleep tracks. Yes. And also for, like, period tracking. Yeah. And being able to see, like, I think it's so interesting to see the insights of your phases, and I'm getting more into that. Like I was never into it, but now I think it's interesting. I love it for the sleep. It really doesn't do anything for exercise, to be honest. I don't think it really tracks your exercise. It doesn't. None of
those things do, and I think we all need to like get off the I got to check my calories on my watch that I burned thing because it's
that was the reason I stopped wearing my Apple Watch was because I was so fucking absorbed. Like my mind was like so on. Did I close all my rings?
Yeah, that was what my whole day was. It was like, how do I like make sure that I close all these rings?
Let me do laps around my apartment to like close the fucking ring.
Yeah, and it's just it's ridiculous, and it's like it's on there's a screen on it, so it's like it's constantly.
But I think that I was thinking also about the Apple Watch and whatever. There are a lot of pros to it. Like it can tell if you fell, God forbid, something. Yeah. It can tell whatever. And I do think it is motivating for some people who need that type of motivation. Right. They can become really obsessive over it.
That's kind of where I'm at. It's like, I just feel like it makes me check my phone more because it like, all the notifications are there. Everyone's always like, your phone's always on silent. My phone's always on silent because like, the constant notification, I'm like, I don't want to be constantly.
You just double call her. It's fine.
Yeah, everybody knows. You got to double call.
I just got to put
this water bottle struggling, yeah. Yeah, like I was just like, I don't need a reason to like constantly have this thing on my wrist. So I wear it truly less and less. And the whole reason I got an Apple Watch actually wasn't even for like the fitness proponent. I got it a long time ago when I was still working in the hospital because it was like the only way I had any idea what was going on. Like it was quick for me to flick my wrist back and be like, is there like, who are these people? What do they need from me? Is it important? No? Okay, continue on with your day because you don't really have time.
I like knowing how many steps I get. Like that is something I genuinely liked the Apple Watch for. I don't really think the Oura Ring does it well, truly, but I loved knowing like how many steps I got because I like there is something about like when you work at a desk job and you're so sedentary and you're like, am I moving even today? Yeah. That's why I got that little tray that goes on a treadmill so that I could like go and walk just like during the day doing like admin shit. I could just like walk on a treadmill while typing. But some days you're like so sedentary. So it did help to just be like, did I actually step today? Or is it just
But
like...
then sometimes you're trying to have a relaxing day and that bitch is like, time to get up and walk. And I'm like, fuck you, Siri.
It's time to stand.
Yeah, like, it's like, why don't you take a lap? You know why don't you mind your business?
Aura does, time to stretch your legs a bit. And I'm like, bitch, no.
Yeah, no, I'm fucking sitting down for a reason.
Like, I want to be sedentary.
Yeah, it's not helpful tech for me. It's not helpful tech. I will say I do want to, this is going to segue into the next topic, but I do want it for the sleep stuff because the sleep is going to pop off in 2025. I know this is at the end of our list, but I'm bringing it to the top because I think sleep is going to pop off in 2025. I was just reading a thing about like this topic called sleep extension, and it's basically like all of the ways that you can kind of like tweak your sleep routine to get enough sleep. And I don't know who all these heroes are that are walking around that are like, I work fine off of 4 hours of sleep. No, you don't.
Well, isn't there something
No, you
though
don't.
that men and women need different amounts of sleep? Because
Yes.
truly, like I'm like I want to go to bed. I want to get into bed at like 8:30, and I
8:30,
want to
yeah.
wind down. And then even if I don't go to bed until 9:30, 10, I'm winding down and relaxing in bed. Darius is like 11 o'clock. He'll start winding down. Midnight, he'll probably fall asleep, and then like he can wake up at the same time as me, and he's energized. But we've gotten like for sure 2 hours of difference in sleep.
Yeah, I think that's for everybody. I think like the gold standard is like 7 hours. Like I don't think human beings should have less than 7 hours of sleep. There actually is like a bunch of studies that say that if you miss, like let's say in a 7-day period, you get 2 nights of terrible sleep where you get less than 7 hours or whatever it is. And you got your lab work done, let's say before the 7 days, and then we repeated it after 7 days. You literally can look like a pseudo-diabetic on paper because when your body doesn't get enough sleep, it makes more cortisol because cortisol is the hormone that keeps you awake. So it's trying to compensate because you're tired. And then that cortisol causes a blood sugar spike, which causes an insulin spike. And then your insulin's not working appropriately because it's outputting like way more insulin than it should be outputting.
I feel like you're talking
and it's
to
a
me.
whole,
You're talking directly to me.
talking to you. It's a whole cycle. It's a whole freaking cycle. And it's like, so we need to start prioritizing sleep.
Yeah.
We really do. And like people make fun of me. I mean, I've said this a million times. I'm in bed at 8:30 and I'm up at the crack of dawn, but I do not function. I wish. I used to be able to, I mean, in college, like when I was
Everybody
a
did,
chem major, like I was out doing after hours at the bar that I was working at and then rolling into class in the morning spry as a spring chicken. But
that's so different now, like where we are and
I
we're
don't.
older and whatever.
Like sometimes I think that Thomas like just thought I wasn't trying to like not talk to him for the rest of the night because I would be like, I'm going to bed at 8 p.m. and he's like, it's 8 p.m. and I'm like, like, good day.
Yeah.
You know, like
Good night.
it's I can't function.
No, I think we need I think sleep. One, I think sleep right now is important, but I think we've been doing things like, which is also on our list, but like mouth tape to help us get a better quality of sleep.
Yes.
To not just fall asleep, but how can we like truly restore our body overnight? Like some days I'll go to bed and that's why I like this Oura ring because I'll go to bed and I'm like, I think I had a great night's sleep. And then
it's like, bitch, you thought.
Yeah, it's like you actually did not.
Bitch, you thought.
But then I'm like, okay, what can I do like pre going to bed that can help me really like wind down and then, wake up in a more not look at my phone right away in the morning. And I really try not to. I think it's hard in Chicago. Everybody's like, go right away and get some sunlight. And I'm like, well,
where, bitch?
Yeah.
Where?
Because
I leave my house at 5 a.m. It's pitch black. I go to the gym. I leave the gym at 6:30. It's pitch black. I come home from work. It's pitch black. That theory, I'm sick of that. If I hear one more person that's like, just get 10
Mel
minutes
Robbins
of sunlight
did this
and then
thing
daylight.
where she shared her morning routine. And it's like, first thing I do when I wake up is go get some sunlight. And I'm like, that's
amazing.
Just not
You live in
feasible.
California.
Yeah.
Great.
That's not feasible for us.
No.
So I think that my big thing was, okay, how can I wake up and not look at my phone, get the day started, which is like I'll go take the boys for a walk, so I will get some fresh air, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'm getting sunlight on my
some
face.
days I'm getting absolutely no sunlight because I'm not close to the outdoors when the sun is out.
Right. So yeah.
It's I'm with it. I'm with the sunlight. I'm all about it.
Yeah,
but
I
it's
wish we
just
had
not,
that.
Yeah, in Chicago.
Yeah. I would like to prioritize a slower morning, not waking up and going right for it. There is something like romantic about that. Not always feasible, not always something I can do, but I do like the idea of like a slow morning with your coffee and like taking the time. Yeah. That's something I would like, but that does stem on, are you waking up feeling energized and capable because you had a good night's sleep? Which also comes down to what we talked about at the beginning, alcohol. If you drink the night before, you're not getting a quality
you're
sleep
not
and
entering
you're
a
waking
single
up
REM cycle
the next day being like, fuck.
Yeah, it's not, no. I mean, 1 or 2 drinks fucks my whole...
100%.
The whole thing.
Literally last night, we went to dinner and my sleep was shitty
terrible.
as fuck.
Wait, okay, also, while we're on this topic of sleep and things, so Jordan and I both have a Hatch. You guys. Okay.
Hatch is my jam.
I
like
fucking
my
love
best
the
friend.
Hatch. I love that Hatch. She does all kinds of things for me. She does a lot of talking. I don't have any of those features active. I'm like, I don't want you to talk to me. I just want you to play the sounds. But if you're into that kind of thing, she's great. So we were talking about last night, both of our boyfriends snoring, and Jordan was like, I just turned the Hatch up to 85. And I'm like, 85? I think mine's set to 50,
Okay,
and I think it's pretty loud.
Let me preface with, I think it starts at like 35. like when you just like the natural like volume is 35. Darius, I love you, and I know he'll listen to this episode. He snores. We're working on it. He's testing whatever, but he snores. So when I got the hatch, because I was listening to pink noise on my phone, and I really didn't like the fact that I was using my phone. So when I got the hatch, I set it to 35 to start. That man can snore over 35. Volume 35 is not working.
It's not for him.
So then I just kept putting it up, and lo and behold, 80 was the number. 80 was the fucking number.
I got home and for shits and giggles, I was like, I just got to see what 85 sounds like. It sounds like the fucking blue line is rolling through my apartment.
Darius and I can't talk. Like, we cannot talk when it's on. But
no, it's so loud. But honestly, I turned it all the way up and then I texted her and I was like, it's kind of nice.
Yeah, it is.
It's kind of nice.
You can't hear anything outside. You can't hear anything indoors. And it just like soothes you to sleep.
Yeah.
And then I wake up, that same 80, that's where I'm like, no, actually, I think I have it on like a 50 or 40 for waking up to sound bowls. It's really nice.
Yeah. No, it's a great little, I mean, if you're looking for a piece of like tech wellness equipment to invest in, 100%. And
I like it.
I like that, like, I say this now, like, so it'll gradually start to light up in the morning. So
you
that,
do a
like,
sunrise, like pink.
yes.
Yeah,
so
I like that.
It gets your circadian to like get into the, like a normal, let's say the sun rose at a normal fucking hour here, which it doesn't, so that it's less triggering and like harsh to your circadian to like wake you out of a REM cycle. Except for some mornings that bitch will start lighting up and I'm like, turn her down.
No.
Turn her. I'm like looking for my phone. I'm like, how do I turn it
no,
down?
same. I'm like, why is this on already?
And it's like not that bright, but I'm like, it's just enough to piss me off, first thing in the morning.
I'm like,
and then I walk around, I'm like, I love it.
This is amazing. I hate you.
No, I really do. Yeah, it's good for you. It's good for you.
No, I
you
like
want to
it.
know what I'm going to say about this and anything? It's got to suck for it to get better. You know what I mean? So, like, she's looking at me like, yeah, crackhead, whatever you say. Things are hard and sucky in the moment to make you better. So, like, the getting up early, the workouts that suck, like, all of these
habits
things.
changing and all that kind of stuff.
They suck because for you to be better.
Yeah.
So, like, this bitch pissing me off in the morning with the light, she's just making me.
Yeah, she's
just
like,
helping me
it's
out.
time now.
Yeah.
Let's go. Stop fighting
I shouldn't
me.
be taking it out on her, but.
All right, next, which we kind of talked about with Layla, which is coming out next week.
Yeah, so we'll do a deeper dive into this, but.
Microdosing, psychedelics.
Big fan, 100%.
One of the interesting things which she'll talk about was, I think it's cool and it's out there, but a lot of people aren't doing their research. And she was mentioning that you should not microdose mushrooms if you're on like an SSRI, SNRI. And I think that's very interesting because I didn't know that.
Yeah, but you can actually macrodose on them, which is that's more like a recreational thing. But I have lots of friends who, with guided help, not just like their own knowledge off the street, microdose psilocybin and like don't take their anti-anxiety meds anymore, don't take their antidepressives. Like,
I think it's the new wave of like how marijuana came, like when that really emerged into this world as like you can do the sleep, the anti-anxiety, whatever. It's not just like you can actually go somewhere and say, this is what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
that I'm a big marijuana girly either, but like
we know.
We're trying. Just learning.
We've seen performance.
Yeah.
No, I'm totally for it. Even if recreationally, like I love to giggle. I gotta tell you.
Yeah.
Nothing really brings me more joy than a good giggle. And it's just like, there's no hangover. There's no...
Yeah. No, Darius and I talked about taking gummies and watching like some of the stand-ups on...
It's the fucking best. I don't care what anybody says.
Netflix.
There's nothing better than taking any kind of edible and rotting on your couch and just laughing at shit.
Yeah.
Like, it is the best, like, form of non-medicine medicine that there is. If it's not for you, it's not for you either. But I also think sometimes, people are scared to try things because they're, like... afraid what's going to happen with their head, but like sometimes you're like tapping into things, whether it's creativity or like that you wouldn't have known or that you could even do. So it's like, I don't know. I'm always like I'm not a I'll try anything once person because I'm certainly not trying a few things once ever. But like, I'm open.
Yeah, agreed.
So I think we should I think we need to start shifting
And
our mindset in
definitely
this
stay
country a little.
tuned for just plug in Layla's episode next week because there's a lot more on that and it gets very interesting.
Yeah, and she's very
wealth of knowledge.
Well-versed, yeah, for sure.
Okay, gut health supplements and hormones balancing things. We'll just put those into one.
I'm yes if you're doing it guided.
Yeah,
If
same.
you stumbled upon my hormonal guide for from Susie Q on Instagram, that's $79.99 a month.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah, I think you got to be careful with that. I think there's a lot of...
I think it's great that people are putting resources out there for women with hormonal issues because I think that's like a world of darkness that like, we have not tapped into.
Yes.
I also think we need to do a better job in healthcare about exploring hormones before it's a necessity. So
Yeah.
like we say this sometimes at work, like people come in and like in even their later 30s or like 40s, 50s, and they want to talk about like hormones and stuff. And it's like, we have no fucking baseline of what your hormones ever were.
Yeah.
So it's like, sure, we can draw labs and we can talk about what we might think is going on, but like maybe you've been this way for all of eternity and like we don't know, you know, like I don't know that this
Also,
is directly causing your
No
symptom.
one talks about when you get off of birth control, like that fucks with your hormones.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like,
yeah. A
You're
lot
just
of
supposed
things.
to get off and then be like, okay, I have back knee now, and I've got a pimple on my chest, and I feel like I've gained weight. I can't lose weight. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And everybody's like, you're fine. You're healthy, and you're like, no, I'm not. Like something is going on.
No, and this is just women's health. This country's trying to kill the women.
Yeah.
They're trying to kill us. But like, yeah, even like, you know, you go for an IUD or something and they're like, I'm going to take this hole puncher to your cervix. Here's a Tylenol. Have a good day. And you're like, what the fuck do you mean?
Yeah.
So I'm glad that people are bringing awareness to it at least and making it like someone maybe could have seen a reel or something and been like, I never thought to tap into hormone issues.
Yeah.
But like, if you think that's maybe something that's going on with you, my only advice is like consult somebody that knows what they're talking about.
Yeah, I think it's
because
very
you can
personal.
do more harm.
Same with
Yeah.
your gut. It's very, very personal. And this one probiotic or prebiotic that works for someone else might not work for you. And I think that there isn't similar to, we've talked about this in different trends and stuff like that, but like there isn't one size fits all.
There isn't. And like people
just be careful of what you
like,
see on the
people can
internet.
sell. Yeah, people can sell.
Yeah.
People can sell. And like I'm a victim of doing it, not for like my own personal gain, because obviously I don't sell products, but like if I really love a supplement or something, like I'm very quick to be like I fucking sold probably like 25 Pelotons in my life and never
Yeah.
saw any money from Peloton.
Yeah.
But like I love that thing so much that I can sell. And
When you like something and something works for you,
yeah,
you
you're
share.
like jazzed about it. You want people to know, but you have to remember, like, especially with like gut stuff and hormone stuff, like if it works for you, it doesn't necessarily work for everybody.
Yeah.
So I
With
just
a
say
grain
keep
of
that in
salt.
mind.
Take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, and just like the person on the other end of whoever's trying to sell it to you, like what's their objective? I guess is the other.
Making money.
Yeah, we all are.
Yeah.
Just like while we're all over the place here, but that. Everybody's TikTok's supposed to go away tomorrow. This is going to come out after TikTok's already gone or whatever. In the last few hours of TikTok, I just want to laugh and I want to learn things like the screen of my microwave comes out so I can clean it. All of these people on TikTok
does?
being like, yeah,
Oh, I need to learn
in the door,
that.
it slides right out.
Wow.
You can just clean her, slide her back in.
Wow,
Who
I'm
fucking
gonna
knew?
have to do that.
Yeah, check it out when you get home. That's what I'm looking for in these last hours of TikTok.
Yeah.
Not these fucking influencers being like, memories, I'm going to miss the memory. Like, bitch, you're going to miss your fat paycheck.
Listen, yeah, here's the thing I will say about TikTok going away. It is a shame because that is how a lot of creators became creators.
For sure.
Because they were less influencing and just straight up creating whatever the fuck they wanted.
100%.
Still while influencing people, but it became more of a creator hub of just like, I'm just going to do whatever. I'm going to share my life. I'm going to whatever. And it was so like good at finding the people that needed to find you type of thing.
Yeah.
So I do think that is a shame for a lot of people.
For
However,
sure. But at the end of the day, the moral of the story is your success and money is going away.
yes. But I really, I would love if we did not have to think about what app am I going to next? Like, why can't we just use Instagram, TikTok, and Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook?
I
Like,
know.
let's go back to Facebook.
Like, low key, they're like, everyone's up in a panic. And I'm upset because, like, I just like to mindlessly scroll, but I'm literally like, take it away. Please take it away.
Yeah,
So that I
wouldn't
can stop
be mad just focusing
yapping
my
on this camera.
efforts on, honing in. I wouldn't be mad.
I know, but we do the most here, so
I know.
that's not going to happen at
I
all.
know.
But
Okay.
anyways, okay.
On
Sorry,
to the next.
segue.
Okay, this I've actually seen a lot. The face taping for anti-aging.
Yeah, that freaks me out.
I don't know. There's something to it, but I'm not going to stop getting Botox.
So, no. And
It's supposed to like replace that.
it is, but there's something about pulling, like we've been told in our entire lives that you have to literally dab your eye concealer on so that you don't pull the skin too hard. And now I'm taking tape and I'm altering my face. It just
To go up.
Yeah, but it just seems like, I don't know. I've seen the ones that go around the neck too. Like you just got your whole
Yeah.
face lifted and you got to use that ice thing.
This is a nay for me because I'm not going to do it.
It's
I think
a
it's
nay for me,
interesting, and
too.
I think it's a good alternative for people who do not want to do Botox. But I would
You know
also
what I
say
would
like facial acupuncture is a very natural way to do that similar thing.
You know what I think smashes face tape, Botox filler, all of it?
Gua sha. Ice rolling.
No.
Okay, tell me. Let me keep guessing.
Listen, I love the gua sha, but have you seen this routine you got to do? You got to activate the lymph nodes. You got to do. Who has this kind of fucking
know.
time?
I've tried,
I'm like,
and
I try to like
can't.
mindlessly do it when I watch TV, and then I'm like, how many strokes have I done? What part of
you
my
gotta
face
go
am
like-
I pulling? You have to do the
you
whole.
gotta tap,
I
then you
know.
have to
I'm trying.
pull,
I
and then
said
you use the
I
tool.
lied to everyone and said in 2025 I was going to start gua shaing more, and I did it like 3 days, and I was like, this is too much work. Red light
Oh yeah.
over all of it. Over
I just bought my
of
Dr. Dennis mask. I invested. I was like, fuck
Yeah,
it.
and that's another thing. It is an investment. Like they're a couple $100s, but again, like
It's
pick a
really
month,
easy.
Pick a month and like maybe not go out to eat or DoorDash or whatever so often. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
save the money if you really want it. But I'm telling you, I've had mine since June, I think, and like I've had people say to me like the pigmentation in your skin is gone, and like I mean my skin's never been better, I think,
Yeah.
than it is currently now. I am like such a stan of the red light. Even if you can't fuck the mask altogether and you can just like buy the panels, which I think some of
Yeah.
the panel options are just like a little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
And just sit in front of that shit.
You could literally meditate in front of, or you could really do anything with the mask or the thing, but like you could multitask
It
while you're
takes
doing
no
it.
time. Okay, well, you can only, so mine, I have the Therabody one. It does like red light, infrared, and red and blue light, and it's like a 9-minute cycle. But the matte, like, okay, so you can't look into direct red light.
Yeah.
So the mask like kind of sits, like the eye slots are kind of in a little bit, you know, there's like some depth to them. And you should see me walking around, like I'm trying to multitask, but I'm like cranking my head to like extra like look around at shit, like, because I can't really, so you can see, but
you
it's
could
like
meditate with
But I
it
was trying to make
on.
my bed the other morning and I was getting dizzy because I was like whipping my head all around,
Yeah.
like, try and see the angles. So, but you can't, and again, it's 9 minutes. Like even if you got to like wash your face, sit down for 9 minutes to let or however many minutes yours goes
Right.
for or whatever, just to let it do its thing and then keep on. I'm telling you, red lights, it's already popped off, but like,
It's popping off in different ways.
yeah, it's
Like the mask wasn't a thing until I think last year.
not hugely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want one of the neck ones.
Same. But I just bought the mask, so I have to
I just
cool
want like
it.
a tanning bed of red light.
You can.
I know, but I don't think I can personally because
Yeah.
I have no room for it, and also it's
Yeah.
probably
Yeah,
like
yeah.
$10,000. But
Yeah.
yeah, if we had to pick any skincare,
I would say red light.
I would say red light 100%.
Also, like helps with like seasonal depression.
Yeah, I
you
flipped my
could-
bedroom light bulbs to red light like
Yeah.
at night for like
Yeah.
20 minutes. Turn it on.
Yeah.
It's good for the circadian.
Yep.
It's good for all kinds of things.
Yeah.
I'm pro light therapy. Do it all.
Yeah.
Get it all.
Okay,
10 out of
let's
10.
talk about fucking beef tallow and plant-based meat alternatives.
Fucking-
They suck.
Fucking beef tallow was
I
an
actually
addition.
don't know what beef tallow is.
Oh my
So I
God,
must
you
not be being served on the TikTok these things.
No, so beef tallow has been around for a minute. It's beef fat in a jar with a light vanilla scent or like whatever. And like
Is this like the cult thing? No.
coconut cult, that's a probiotic yogurt. It's delicious, but also it's $25 a jar and I'm just like, no,
Okay.
thank you. No, it's literally beef fat. Like that is the ingredients. And people are putting it on their skin and they're like, my skin is glowing and blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, how much like water have you had to drink in the last 7
Yeah.
days? And like how many vegetables have you consumed? Like, can we as a society in 2025 start working on what we're putting in our body before we start slathering our fucking
Yeah.
faces in beef tallow? Like,
Well, let's hope this is something that, you know, the government with banning red dye and things like that. Like I did see somewhere that was like, cool, they're doing this, but like we also have choices and
Yeah.
on what we eat, whatever. But I do think that our food is very processed, even if it's clean.
No, yeah. And it is. I'm not saying flip your diet and eat cleaner than you've ever eaten, but like just maybe like it's as simple as like drink more fucking water.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
But
just
that's our
feel
society. We want a quick fix.
We do. And they're like, the glow from the beef tallow. I'm like, it's literally fat. Like, it's greasy. Of course it's going to make you, like, glowy.
I've never heard of this. I'm going to have to Google this.
So I saw it on actually the I think it was the Skinny Confidential, had some guy on, and I can't speak to what his credentials are or anything. I don't even know why he was on the podcast. I just saw a reel. And he was talking about the beef tallow, and he's like, it's the only skincare ingredient me and my wife, blah, 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 blah. And the people in the comments were, like, eating it up. And I'm like, listen to me also.
Listen to me also.
If a man born John, still named John, is trying to give me skincare advice, he can fuck right off. Number one. Now, if a person born Teresa, now John, had skincare advice, I might listen to that bitch.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
Yeah.
But like, I'm just like, sir, okay. Like, I understand you're on a public platform and you're just telling your tea, and like, we've all got things to say. But like, no. Like, no. Can we try something else first?
Yeah.
I draw the line at beef fat on the face. I do.
I don't think I would go there. I don't think
People
if someone
are
was
like,
hey,
there's a light almond scent. I'm like, okay, it's beef fat. You wouldn't eat beef fat. Why are you putting it on your face?
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds kind of gross.
It is gross. I can't. It makes me violent. I don't know why. I have such a strong opinion about this.
Taylor's definitely a nay. I'm a nay.
The cows never
but
did
only
anything
because
to me.
I just don't think I would ever try it.
It's like, I think that we all need to just replace the beef tallow with some water intake.
Yeah.
They feel like that's a fair
Drink
exchange.
water is a yay.
Is a yay, you know?
Okay, plant-based alternatives. I'm a nay.
I say nay too. Okay, so I was a vegetarian for a very long time, so I've tried all the plant-based alternatives. And though some are delicious, they're just fucking full of shit.
Dr. Prager's wasn't that bad.
No, some of them are good. Like, okay, but so I guess here's my switch out. The high protein options, full of junk.
Well, yeah, like when you get the like you're at a restaurant and they're like, we've got this burger, and
The
you're
Impossible
like,
burger?
Yeah, thank you.
Impossible to ever have clean arteries is what they really mean.
It's real
It's
bad.
full of shit. It's like so processed. So yes,
It's like you think you're eating healthier, but you're actually not.
You're not.
You might as well just get the burger.
it's 90% filler, and you're just like, what is the filler? When someone says the word filler in food, I think of like that YouTube video from 900 years ago where they're like talking about making hot dogs, and they're like, and the filler, and you're like, there's shards of glass in there. I think like I'm not. Like,
Yeah.
like, we shouldn't be eating any of this. But like, if you're gonna eat like just the veggie burgers that are like simply like quinoa and like, you know, that kind of stuff, great. But like the protein content sucks. And don't get me started about. We've already heard my story about taking in enough protein. So it just was like, I don't know. And again, like I had my lab work done. I was not so inflamed, but like I was inflamed, and then I started eating meat again, and that kind of went away.
Yeah.
And I think likely
I've actually heard that more and more. People who weren't eating meat and started eating meat, their inflammation like decreased.
and I don't think it's the vegetarian lifestyle. I think it's the vegetarian options that like because again, like I'm on the go, and like I'll meal prep, but like sometimes I don't meal prep enough, and then it's like, what's the quickest thing I can do? Veggie burger in the freezer. And it's like, I think I was just eating
convenience.
Yeah, like more junk than I realized I was eating.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
And then I switched, and
Yeah.
it's all better. But yeah, and some of them are just like, I don't know, the non-dairy cheeses. Just
Really? Viola Life? I don't mind that one.
It feels like a
I don't
federal
mind that
offense.
one. I don't like Dia Life, but the Viola Life.
Something about the fact that I know that there's something in there that's not dairy is really creeping me out.
Almond.
I know, but
I don't mind that one, but I don't like any of the others. And I only get the shredded if I'm going to do it.
yeah, I don't know, something about a lot of the vegetarian stuff.
I hear ya.
Unless you have the luxury to like prep all this shit fresh and like
I don't.
Yeah.
No. All right, so let's talk about what we think is going to be big in 2025.
From a wellness standpoint?
A lot of these we've kind of gone over, but like this is kind of like what the internet said was going to be big, and what I kind of took and was like, all right, what do we think on this? We already talked about sleep stuff. I think truly what's going to be big in 2025 is like wellness communities and people trying to make friends or find groups that are less focused on let's go party to the club and more focused on like what can we do in wellness, like pickleball friends or sports groups or
Well, I'm constantly
fitness classes,
seeing girls too, like
walking or meeting up
yes,
for
like there's a
fitness class.
run. There's always a run club or a walk club or whatever. Or it's like me and my friends, like on the internet, they're like, come along with me and my two friends while we go to like this workout class on a Saturday morning, and then we go to get brunch or something. So it's. I agree. We're shifting. I think it's less cool to like be out till 2 a.m.
I'm actually teaching a fitness class for singles.
Oh, fun! I love that. Good idea.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not hosting it. Someone I just needed an instructor.
I thought it was your idea. I was like, wow, great idea.
No, if anybody wants me to teach one, I 100% will. But no, someone asked me, and I was like, I think it would be more relevant if I was single to host those type of events. But I think it's such a great idea.
Yeah,
like, take a class, mingle, but like, there's no like pressure then like you have to get super dressed up, which is something I'm trying to do in 2025. Is,
but do you think that would
dress a
bring you
little bit.
anxiety too? Like you're like,
I don't really care that much. I think that's the thing is like, even when I teach, like I don't put on a full face of makeup.
well, right, but you're not out scouting for a suitor.
But like they have to like
what am I, 97? You're not out scouting for a suitor.
But they like have to accept you. I guess yes. Like you're not going out whatever. But like because I wouldn't go to like a Barry's class and like sweat my ass off. But like a nice yoga class, like sure.
I have the winter uglies right now. You know the winter uglies.
I'm always beautiful, so like, I don't understand.
Every time I try to get her to relate and be like, you feel ugly too, right? She's like, I'm stunning. I'm like, okay.
Listen, this is sickly, but after the stomach flu, I feel great about myself.
Yeah, and that is something we're still working on as recovering addicts. I said this yesterday. She said that to me. She's like, I feel skinny for dinner. And she's like, oh, that was really bad. And I was like, we're recovering addicts, so I think give us some grace here. This is so bad. Have I told this before about me at the hospital?
I don't know.
You've
been at the hospital a lot.
I have, yeah. I can't. It's all blending into very one day. But one time I had, me and my best friend had this patient in the ICU. This is so terrible. Forgive me. And I worked in the ICU. Everybody knows this. Everyone was dead, mostly. Okay? That's just like where I worked. And I can say that because I worked there.
Should we? May they rest in peace.
May they rest in peace. This man was so cachectic. I mean, skeletal, right? And like we went to go like what were we doing? We were repositioning him or something. And like my friend had said something like, oh my God, like he's like skin and bones. And I was like, goals. Over the body of this barely alive man whose like family was outside the room. I was like, what is like wrong with me?
God.
I mean, we had a laugh, but yeah. So just when you think you've said something weird, trust me, I've taken it to a different level. But anyways.
All right, next.
Moving on.
All right. Virtual reality fitness or AI powered fitness.
It sounds like motion sickness.
Yeah, I don't think I could do it.
Also, I think we're moving. I think now that everyone's like, we've accepted that COVID's come and gone, I think people are moving away from like the online platforms.
I don't know, because AI is a thing. Virtual reality.
I know, but for
like
fitness?
I wouldn't put on my goggles and do a class. Not that I have the goggles anyway, but like I don't think I would.
Have you ever worn those goggles?
No.
It's very real.
No. My nephews had them like on.
Like you're in a cartoon and you're like, somehow this still is real life.
Yeah.
It's
I don't
weird.
know. I don't think I could be like, all right, give me a 5-6, like step touch, give me squats. But like I know like the mirror, that's kind of AI. Well, it's not really AI. It's like a person.
I know, but I don't know that the mirror ever really popped
I'm really
off.
into like in person, like having that like.
Well, because I feel like you want someone to be like, stop arching your low back and like stop, like I feel like you want people to correct.
I also just like knowing like Susie's there, Jenny's there.
Yeah, you have very basic bitch names in your classes whenever you make up a name.
They're not. I don't even have a Susie or a Jenny.
I know.
I probably have a Jenny.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We got to get creative with the fake people.
Well,
but I think we're moving away from the world of digital.
I think VR or like gamified fitness is going to be a thing.
That is so fucking stupid.
But it's going to be a thing. And I also think if someone wants to work out that way, great, you're moving your body. So I do think that.
Again,
is it for
as
me?
we say,
No.
you do what you want
Yeah.
when you poppin'. But like,
Is it for me? No. But I do think like some type of like I don't know.
maybe the Xbox nerds, this is how they get it moving.
Darius got his PS5, and I actually like it. It doesn't play Nintendo like Mario Kart, which I wanted to. It plays like Garfield Kart, which is the same thing. I like it. I was like, I'm going to play this.
Yeah, well, who doesn't fucking love a Mario Kart?
Yeah, it's fun.
I love a mindless moment.
I mean, recovery I think is going to be huge, obviously.
Okay, so that was another topic. I think we should switch from focusing on how do I pre-energize myself for this workout and start focusing on the recovery aspect instead. I think that we are
What do you mean, like pre-energy drinks and stuff like that?
Yes, or like
Pre-workout,
this quick snacks, like all this, like we're so heavy on like how to prep myself for this workout, and then we don't ever like follow up with the recovery. So I think we should shift.
I would say not the pre-workout. I think a warm-up is necessary. Like, how do you warm up your body?
Sure.
But I do also think in that same breath, and I do it myself in my classes, like 45 minutes is so short for a workout. And so I'm like, okay, I got to leave like 3 minutes for your cool down stretch. And I'm like, please go stretch. Please go stretch. Like, go take a full 10 minutes to stretch your body, cool down, drink water. Like, those are things I think we need to do. Sauna, steam, all of that stuff. I think recovery is something, to your point, we need to focus on.
Yeah, which I haven't stretched since 1997.
I know, because it's not a thing.
I'm also just like, I got to get out of here. You know what I mean?
No, it's like I've already been here for an hour.
The workout ends, and I'm like, I've got to get going. I
know.
have nowhere to be, but it's not here.
I know.
You know?
I know. I'm with you too.
Like, I couldn't possibly stay another second. Anyways.
All right. So let us know what you think on those trends. Yes. Yays, nays, ups, downs, lefts, rights.
Whichever way you're swinging. Yeah.
Okay. Well, making a drastic turn. Do we want to do A or B?
I think we do B.
Okay.
I think we leave A for another day.
Navigating fitness and wellness in social media
is the most difficult thing I've ever done in my entire life.
Yeah, I think also just navigating social media in general is difficult. And I think to the point of TikTok going away, it's even more difficult to figure out now as people trying to grow a business which is in wellness and fitness.
Yeah.
How do you navigate that?
I don't know. Well, if you figure it out, will you let me know? Because I still have I don't know what I'm doing.
I don't think anybody knows what they're doing. I think people have figured out what they're doing for them. And I don't think it's a copy paste. I actually just saw, do you know Leah Bartha she's a fitness instructor who does online fitness. She's like 40
You know
something.
So many people and you're always like, so-and-so, and like 90% of the country knows them, and I'm like, never heard of her.
Yeah, she's a pretty big, like, she's got her own method, like based on like Pilates and slow movements, whatever. But she literally was like, we just found someone who was literally copy pasting what she was doing.
You can't do that.
And they were like, she was like, she's a subscriber, so she's got like whatever. I think that you can look at people's workouts that are teaching and you can say, wow, that's a really unique move. Mm-hmm. That's a really unique transition. Really great combo. Oh, I liked the way that they did this side to whatever it is. To copy paste completely is plagiarism. Of someone's, like, you're using their words, you're using you need to have some type of you in it. Like, I think that's why people come to people's classes and stuff or follow people on the internet, is because it's you. You're not a replica of someone else.
Well, I know, but I think also we're in this day and age of it's like, how can I ladder climb like as fast as I can to the top and like be the most successful? And like you see people that do it and you're like, well, I can just do exactly that. I think that's where that comes from. But
there's also a point of like,
I'm not saying I agree. I'm just saying I think that's what it is.
Right,
it's like,
because there's also the point of like, okay, I see that they're doing, I was saying this yesterday to like kind of tell Thomas, Taylor's boyfriend, like a little bit about social media, how like under 7 seconds and saying like quick points of like how to sit up straight when you're at your desk or whatever. And then you like, it's like clickbait. Mm-hmm. And that's what works on social. Whereas really you're like, but I want to say more. I like want to tell more. I want to do more. And it's like, that's why people want to relate to you, really.
Yeah.
Is when you have more.
Well, I think wellness clickbait is just on fire right now.
Yes.
On fire. Like it's and that's where people struggle with a lot of this stuff, is because they're like, I got pitched 19 different supplements today and I loved them all. So it's like I bought all of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just wellness clickbait is on fire. So
yeah,
like
because it's like, this worked for me and this is what happened, so it's going to do the same for you, so buy it.
Yeah. And that's just the theme of like where social media is right now,
as
unfortunately.
two people who have to be on social media for promoting ourselves, promoting the podcast, promoting our own personal things and our brands and whatever, I think there's a sense of pulling away from social, not inundating yourself. This is at least for me. Not inundating yourself with like everything every day, and really leaning into like, who am I? What is my message? What do I want to say? And how can I get that across? I think there's a lot of times where as I relaunch a fitness brand, have the podcast, have myself, and kind of figure out, okay, how do I talk about all these things without, one, sounding like the sad girl, two, sounding inspirational, showcasing who I am, what I do, and making it like relatable to the people that I want to be relatable to. Do you know what I mean? And I think that that's something that is a fine balance. Like, we just had a strategy meeting before this talking about how we're going to promote the podcast more. And it's, when you think about it, why can't we just share clips of the podcast? But it's like, well, then we're not really showcasing as well who we are, what the podcast means, why we started it, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Well, and you always say too, like, I would call it a Jordan Borkin line, but like, what is the why? You know? And so I guess as you're deciding to like navigate a social media journey, and whether that's like in fitness or not, what is the why?
Yeah.
And if the why is just, I just want money, like this person has money, then maybe you shouldn't be the person that's
100%.
trying to.
I still think that comes through. Like, oh, you actually don't like this. Like, you're not happy right now.
Right.
Like, you literally don't like what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Correct. Yeah. Well, and grain of salt too, because I think a lot of people, everything and everyone is perceived on social media with what they put out. Like, with you saying like, I don't want to be the sad girl or whatever, like sometimes like we're the sad girl, you know? And
I think I think when you talk about having an eating disorder online, because when I think about the Arrow method and why I started it, it was to find relatable fitness, and it was to allow people to come to a safe space with an instructor who understands the journey that you've gone through. And so it's not about being your skinniest self, or it's not about hating our bodies and working out to change them. It's about like finding love and gratitude for our bodies to be able to do these things. And when I started it, I was like, how can I showcase how I overcame and gone through an eating disorder without being like preachy, you know, like this is how I grew and got to here.
Yeah.
But showcase that and not be depressing is not the word, but like, you know what I mean? And so it is a fine balance.
You didn't want the vibe to come off depressive.
Yeah. And same thing with like why we relate is like we relate on some kind of depressive, hard things, but it's like we've also overcome it and gotten to a point where like we're proud of how we got here.
Yeah.
Whether people are in that journey, after that journey, whatever, you know?
Yeah. And I think also it just giving it, whether it's an eating disorder or whatever kind of disorder, a mental health disorder, yada, yada, yada.
I have both of those.
I have them all the disorders, literally all of them. Like, it's outstanding, in fact. It gives it a space where it doesn't feel so yuck or so sad or so whatever. So it's not preachy, but like I wish fucking 10 years ago I had some girly pop on a couch being like, and here's how I, did this whole thing.
Yeah.
Because it just, you feel yuck when you're in it, you know? So it's you have to present it a little bit.
As much as we're like, it's this crazy place, whatever, I do think there are the support outlets that a lot of people need, want, don't know they need, whatever, that is out there. And I think that is a positive of the internet. And I think taking that step back, being able to view it as just that, it's social media, you know, and knowing that like, okay, you don't have to try to be anybody else. You can be yourself. And
I think once you, like, the reality of that too hits you in the face, like, I think I'm so apprehensive to post stuff on social media sometimes because I mean, I was great, like, for probably like a year straight when I was living my single life. Like, anytime I would go out, like, I'm throwing a fit in, like, a selfie or a mirror pic with the fit up because the fit was cute and, like, I looked good and whatever. And then, like, repeat the following week, the next time that I stepped out.
I felt myself last night.
And as you should. But, you know, like, that was where, but I didn't have to, that was so superficial. Like, I didn't have to give, there was nothing about me and my personality or anything. So, like, that piece is easy to do. And then when you start trying to, like, be, not like, I don't want to use the word public figure because I'm not. I'm still just, like,
you're a public figure.
This fucking,
step into it.
Whatever I am. But you feel like you have to be something else, or you have to present yourself in a way. And then, like, I joked around saying, like, you know, I've posted on TikTok like every day this week because, like, I don't care, it's going away. But it's like, once you're finally just like, this is just me, and, like, this is just what you get, and, like, it doesn't matter how much you believe that in the outside world. Like, social media is a whole other, like, hindrance to that whole idea.
Yeah.
But, like, it kind of is just like, I'm just so, like, fuck it. Like,
yeah, that mentality though,
and
of
if
just
you
like,
don't want to listen to me yap or whatever,
swipe up,
just keep on
skip
going.
it.
Yeah. You know, and so it's goods and bads. I think the internet and social media and all that stuff, it can be really good. We just have to weed out the
really bad ones.
Really bad. Because there's some out there that really are scaring me.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, we'll get it.
Well, yeah, we're getting it. I'm like actually very proud of us for where we've gotten. This is episode 15, I believe, that will come out.
I think, yeah,
either 14. I think it's 15.
Yeah.
Episode 15 that will come out. We have done a lot for 15 episodes, and I think that that's like a huge, like thing. I don't know. I think it's great.
And on it, the people sliding into my DMs just being like, oh my God, this thing that you talked about, like, so funny. Oh my God.
And our guests.
Or we've had conversations with guests too that are just like, fuck social media, us too. And then I'm watching, you know who I'm talking to, pop off on their own social media because we had a little conversation and I was like, yeah, nope, you got it, you do it. You know, like.
It's cool to see, like, how just opening a conversation about whatever, like, I've had conversations with people and they're like, oh my God, when blah, blah, blah was on your podcast, I didn't know this. I didn't know that. And it's like so cool to learn about people that are in our industry, people who aren't in our industry coming, honestly, soon on the pod. Like, it's very cool.
Yeah, we're expanding. We've done, I mean, health and wellness and all those things, fitness is what we know. We're going to expand a little bit to some other fun
arenas.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, it's been I mean, we haven't been at it that long, so
right. It's kind of crazy.
Quite impressed with us as well.
And I'm very excited for what's to come.
Yeah, me too.
Well, what else we got coming up?
What do we have coming up?
Can we say the official date of event, or keep it? Okay, TBD. We are planning an event. It'll be Taylor and I teaching in some capacity, each of us teaching. And we'll have food, snacks, some vendors, like jewelry, drinks, all that kind of stuff. So stay tuned. I would say watch our social. Keep listening to episodes because we'll tell you more about it. But I think that'll be really fun to kind of like officially launch the podcast in Chicago in, I would say, March-ish. Look out for it in March. Really fun guests coming up, like we said, from all areas of life. So expanding a little bit outside of the wellness realm. So stay tuned for those. It would help us as well if you liked, you rated, you subscribed to the podcast on wherever you find your podcasts. Email us with any topics. Please keep interacting. Let us know what you want.
Yeah, that was super helpful yesterday, actually. It really was.
Yeah,
that little
it's really,
poll that we
it's also really cool to
out.
see what you like to hear, what you want to hear from us. And it makes us, I don't know, makes me feel good.
Yeah. No, it's so again, it's really just about us.
Yes. It makes us feel really good.
Yeah, no. Well,
yeah. Off to a, I don't know, relaxing rest of the weekend, yeah?
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. Well,
As always,
remember, everything's fine. Cheers.